Hey guys, MBB here. So basically, I had an idea for a pretty stupid Yu-Gi-Oh deck. So it's all centered around Waking the Dragon, um, which if you didn't know, if it's set and your opponent destroys it or banishes it by a card effect, you just get to special summon a monster from your deck or extra deck. Um, so the idea of this deck is to try to bait our opponent into destroying our Waking the Dragon. So we've got our Waking the Dragons, obviously, and then basically how we're going to try and bait our opponent into destroying it is by giving them a spell trap removal card. So that would be either Mystical Space Typhoon, Cosmic Cyclone, or Galaxy Cyclone. Basically, these are, well, pretty good spell trap removal cards that don't have downsides really attached to them. So that's why I'm not playing Twin Twister, because our opponent might not want to discard a card just to destroy like one back row, right? Whereas they'll probably be willing to pay 1,000 life points, not a very big cost. So to give our opponent these cards, we've got Magical Contractor, which you add a spell card from your hand to your opponent's hand, and then add a level 7 or 8 Dark Monster from your deck to your hand. So our target for that is Danger Nessie. We also have Graceful Tear, a trap. Add one card from our hand to our opponent's hand, then gain 2,000 life points. Also, this is searchable by Trap Trick, so that's really nice. And then we also have Gold Moon Coin, where we have to give our opponent 2 cards, but we get to draw 2. So it's also a draw card to get into our combo. So then, other than that, the deck is all draw cards. So we have the dangers, just a couple of them, because Nessie can be searched out by Magical Contractor. And then I also have Mothman, because it allows us to draw more cards. I also have one copy of Hyperia. If I summon it, I get to draw a card, so an Upstart Goblin on legs, pretty much. Also, Pod Desires. We can afford to play it. Like, the only bad thing that can really happen is if we banish, like, all 3 Waking the Dragon, and that, like, basically never happens. So, yeah, pretty low risk, draw 2. I'm playing Foolish Burial Goods along with Metal Foes Fusion. Just another draw card, basically Upstart Goblin. Speaking of Upstart Goblin, we obviously have the one of Upstart Goblin. And then I just also have Magical Mallet, just another draw card. So yeah, main deck, super straightforward. For the extra deck, it's basically all Waking the Dragon targets. So we got Naturia Exterio, obviously really, really good against stuff like Sky Striker that heavily relies on spell traps. Last Warrior from Another Planet obviously can just lock your opponent out of being able to summon monsters. Geomath Mech Final Sigma is really, really good. It's kind of like Raid Raptor Ultimate Falcon, except it has less attack, but also it deals double battle damage, which is really, really awesome. And then we got this super heavy Samurai guy. I've never actually used this, but basically it's got 4,800 defense, which is absolutely ridiculous. It's probably one of the highest in the game. And it can attack while in face-up defense position, and you apply its defense for damage calculation, and then it can also destroy cards on your opponent's field. So, yeah, this is pretty good. I also just have random Beelzeus and Beels. Haven't used these either, but, you know, I could use them at some point. Crystal Wing, I actually went into this like once or twice, maybe. It's not bad. It has just it's really a straightforward negation effect. It's pretty good. Raid Raptor Ultimate Falcon is probably the one that I use the most. It just has 3,500 attack, which is super hard to get over, and then it's unaffected by other cards' effects. So this can just like win you the game on its own sometimes. I also have Cyber Dragon Infinity. I've never used this before, but it could theoretically be good. It's a little bit like Crystal Wing. It just has a really, really powerful negation effect. But Crystal Wing has a lot more attack, obviously. Still really good. Boral Sword is another card that I could potentially use off of Waking the Dragon. Haven't used it yet, really. And then I'm just playing one copy of IP Masquerade along with a Nightmare Unicorn. So this is just for a really niche scenario where I draw like multiple monsters. So maybe like I summon an Hyperia and then also like 2 dangers. So I can link off 2 of them into IP, and then I have Unicorn for my opponent's turn just as an additional disruption. So it can maybe allow me to stall for a little bit or something. So yeah, the deck is like ridiculously straightforward. So yeah, let's get into some replays.